All right. Before I was gonna make like a couple of MGTOW videos about MGTOW anonymity, MGTOW like what do you do in your pastime, what you like to do in your pastime, like what I like to do in my pastime, what books you read, sports and stuff like that. I want to before I even do that, I wanted to talk about not why I became MGTOW, but how I decided to like stop playing the game, or how I just came to a realization that I should just unplug myself from this stupid fucking game of basically cat and mouse, you know. So and by the way, those of you who are complaining about my carbon monoxide thing, you fucking break, all right? It doesn't bother me. I live with it. Um, so ever since I was a little kid, like I grew up around my cousins, my family, and no, it was nobody. My family never favored anybody over anybody. It was always me in like my head. This sentence. It was always in my head. I'm gonna say it right now, but I don't want to. But I don't want to. This was always in my head, and not because, for example, like, oh, why don't you play with your cousins? Why don't you share your toys? Why don't you Why don't you work as a team? When you're in school and everything. And in my head, this sentence came about by default. It's not because I wanted it to be that way. It was just, but I don't want to. But I don't want to. I don't want to sit here and read with all these kids. I don't want to play with my cousins. I don't want to share my toys. I don't want to share anything with anybody. I want to keep it all to me. It's all mine. That was always in my nature. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like having friends. I have friends and I spend time with them. We hang out. But then it's time for me to go home, disappear, and do my own fucking things. Um, and I didn't know this until my like mid 20s. And ever since I went into middle school, high school, I had girlfriends and all that stupid shit. But I've always liked hanging out with my friends, and not just hanging out with my friends. I always liked drinking and doing drugs. So basically, like I valued pleasure over a vagina. I know vaginas give me pleasure, but I always liked the pleasure of just being by myself, even if it was just doing drugs and drinking alcohol. I was doing it by myself. Like, even after I was done hanging out with my friends, I would go home. And when I would go home wasted, I would just get more wasted by myself and play my video games or whatever the fuck I had at that time, you know. And it was always by myself, by myself. So I always put that before any girl that I was dating. So it's not really the drugs and alcohol. I'm past that shit. It's not that. It's the behavior of me wanting to do my own shit. So, but I don't want to spend time with this fucking bitch. I already had sex with her. What the fuck does she want me to do? Like, she wants me to fucking cuddle with her? Okay, fine. 2 hours. Like, I want to, I fucking panic. I want to do my own fucking thing. So, ever since that, like, slowly and slowly and slowly, a couple of more um, heartbreaks. That was just me, though. That was just me being a little bitch. And then, like, once my mid 20s, my late 20s, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is stupid. Like, why am I even bothering with this shit? And it just wasn't an overnight thing. It was like, I'm slowly drifting away from the game, right? The dating game, the bullshit texting game, or like, what are you doing tonight? When you're texting girls or talking to them or whatever, what are you doing tonight? I'm not doing nothing. What are you? And then it's just like, who asks who first? Like, slowly I just drifted away from that, right? And while that was during that process, I realized I'm getting better at playing guitar. Getting, I'm enjoying myself more. I'm making more money. I'm enjoying, my workouts. I get to train more. I get to run more. I get to read more. I get to do better in school. All these things just started accumulating on one on top of the other, and I'm just like, so wait. So I'm like, spending more time by myself, I'm able to work better because I am by myself. I don't have nobody distracting me. Yeah, it's my fault because I'm letting them distract me, but it's just the whole point of me doing things by myself. I work better that way. And then slowly, I just realized, shit, like this is my life. This is what I just like it sometimes. I like being by myself. Most of the time, 24 hours a day, I like being by myself at least 16 hours a day. 16 or fucking 15 or 12. I'm not really counting, but it's just that I noticed that this is my current behavior, and it's been like building up, and now that it's my current behavior, now I'm just like, wow, I feel weird a little bit. So then once I heard of MGTOW, I'm like, shit, I'm not the only one, right, that likes to do things by himself or just wants to go his own way. There's other people out there that want to do things their own way, and whatever your interpretation of MGTOW is, right? But once I heard about it, I'm like, wow, this is cool. This is something I could get involved with, and ever since then, now I'm here just talking about it, and I'm starting to notice it's not doing your own thing. It's just like complaining a lot about women, and whatever. We'll get to that in another video. But I play video games. I love reading books. This book it's called I have it. Men on Strike. I'll show it later. I'm not done reading it, but one line from that book, which really like fucking boom, like nailed me right in the fucking head. It said, the only way not to lose is by not playing. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I play video games. I play guitar. I love fucking running. I love running. Running is like my fucking like therapy, and so is working out. But I love running a little bit more. All right.